Well, after becoming the dominant force in Northern Ireland, today is all about my favourite competition and having a look at how we compare with the rest of the UK. The SPFL Trust Trophy is back at the semi-final stage, and after a disappointing youth intake, we need something to lift our spirits. Yes, hello and welcome along to part 137 of Lifting Spirits with me, Daniel. We are back with Distillery today to face TNS in a semi-final of the SPFL Trust Trophy, and after getting through Linfield off camera, if we win this one, we should have the final at the weekend against St Mirren, a side who currently, you can see from this, are near the top of the Scottish Championship. If you're looking forward to seeing how we get on, meeting a very disappointing youth intake, and of course seeing how we've edged closer to the title in Northern Ireland, then please do put a thumbs up on the video. It's been an interesting second half of the year, and we've got one more dilemma that we need to resolve. If we have a look at the transfer centre, we have got confirmation that we can sign Jordan Howard, but we don't have anywhere to put him in the squad. So if I sign him now, he's not going to be able to feature in the last month, bar the Irish Cup. But of course, he would be a great signing for next year, with Dermot Lafferty refusing to sign a deal. We've also got Morris Simpson on the way out, as we know. So it's going to be an interesting decision to make. But for now, let's have a look at the schedule and what's been going on since you were last here. And that was, well, disappointment in a League Cup final against Linfield, who again got the better of us in a cup competition. If we have a look at the 5 results, though, against Crusaders, it was a 3-0 victory. Misselidis and a brace from Damien Dunn getting the win. A backup side comfortably dispatched Warren Point by 6-1. Lafferty got the open up before a parry brace, and then the likes of Goss, Beaton and Owen Kidd getting one apiece. Red card for Warren Point there as well. 4,500 in the Irish Cup quarter-final away at Coleraine. 4 goals for Mark Scully and 1 for Merivale Austin. 5 for Scully, in fact, as we got big revenge for that league defeat a couple of weeks earlier. A 5-0 win at home to Cliftonville followed. Scully, Cowan, Misselidis, Daly and Parry with 1 each. And in a bizarre 6-3 win against Larne, we went 2-0 down in the first 25 before getting back on terms just before the break, as Scully got 2 of another 5-goal display, with Jordan Gash scoring the other. What that means, as you will probably have worked out, is that Mark Scully is going to be top scorer in the Irish Prem. Our goal difference is 109, and Linfield last week lost at home to Glenarvan by 1-0, and that has cost them any chance of getting back in it. Now if they win their 2 games in hand, they'll still be 13 points behind, and with us playing them on Wednesday, it will be a full reserve side in force. For us, the first team go out today against TNS, and then hopefully on Saturday for a final. We've got Larne in the Irish Cup semi-final. We'll likely meet Linfield in a final of that too. But for now, I've got to show you the youth intake, which unfortunately was a bit disappointing. We got one very decent English youngster through, which is great for the Builder club, but not so much for the nation, because we can't get him into the Northern Ireland setup, and the rest of the intake is pretty average. So I'll show you this one guy, Stuart Tomlinson. Low determination, we've got him working on that already. Doesn't look like a great player in my eyes, but to be fair to him, he's only just turned 15. He's got plenty of development room in him, and we'll just see how he gets on. But it wasn't an intake that particularly enthralled me after the excitement of all of the upgrades. Maybe they'll take a bit longer to come to fruition. When you've got exceptional youth recruitment and coaching, when you've got great youth facilities, you just want someone who's going to be of quality. And the big letdown has been the youth intakes, because we did get a couple of absolute gems in our Bangor City one, which we haven't had this time around. We'll see if that changes in the next couple of years. It's going to have to happen soon if they're going to make the first team, but we are only focused on Lisburn Distillery. 3 players to be closed down. TNS have got a very decent side. They're not far off our quality in the first 11. It's just how long a break they've had, how fit they are, and of course how much of a fan base they have, which based on the attendance today, they've got the same problem as us when it comes to supporters. Well, here we go then, and with Dermot Lafferty seemingly on his way out and Howard to replace him, I have decided that we're going to drop him off the bench as the one that misses out. We've brought Stow back in because this week he finally ended his unhappiness at left back. He's another one who becomes homegrown at the club, so great to have him back in form. The rest of the team, though, by now you can name. We've got Paul Elliott cup-tied and out of the squad. The first 11 is as you'd expect it to be. Is Neil Kane in goal, Stout and Reed the fullbacks with Smith and Mackenzie as centre half, Gash and Jude the midfield two, Cowan and Missalidis the wingers, and then Maraval Austin gradually getting back to fitness. Was his best performance against Larne so far. He is behind Scully up front. Well, here we are, and amongst all the brilliant young players that TNS have brought through, several of them pop up in our scout reports every year. The one familiar name from the start of the game is Will Andy Appan at right back, or at left back, sorry, for this team. He was a star for us in our FM22 head coach, featured at Dover in one of my most enjoyable spells, and he is today in the TNS side. But the rest of it, a lot of good young players, a real stomping ground when it comes to Northern Irish transfers. Larne, Linfield and us all signed players from there before. But let's ask the lads to pick up where they left off. They were brilliant in the second half against Larne. We need them to do the same in this one. As you can see, pretty low attendance here at Lisburn Distillery. We're in great form. TNS are in pretty good form themselves. They're the dominant side in Wales. They are winning a league every year. And they played in a Champions League this year too. So we know the quality they've got. As Reed gets the ball on the right, chips over towards Cowan. Andy Appan clears to Missalidis. It's that extra physicality that may help us here, as Cowan knocks down for Maraval Austin. And his shot's wide of the post. He's not back in form yet. He's not fully fit. And we are hoping he'll find it soon, because at the moment, that is that little ingredient that's missing. As it's a goal kick for TNS. There are 12 minutes on the clock. Our stand looked quite nice behind the goal there. I've not seen it before looking empty like that. Oh my God, what's happened there? Gash and Smith have mixed up. Steve Davis is in. Denied by the woodwork. We have got away with murder there, because that is awful defending. And we have got away with one. 15 gone. It should be our visitors that are ahead. But we've managed to hold on. It is 0-0. And that's by luck more than judgment, as Gash gets the ball to Jude. Can we now make amends at the other end as Missalidis gets in? Scully's in the middle, but he shoots himself. It's straight at the goalkeeper. You can already see they've got a bit more of a threat. They are a bit better as a side, but the only real chance they've had is one we've gifted them, so we can't be too worried. As Mackenzie plays out the style. Can he avoid a red card today in a big game? Missalidis loses it to Evans. They're better in the press. They're fitter. They're finding Steve Davis up front. He's got options in the middle. One of them's Jones, and it's a goal for TNS. They have started the game pretty strongly, and while we've had chances, they've had the two best ones, and have taken the second to go 1-0 up. 20 gone. I'm not happy with that. Let's see if we can get a response. As we're straight at the other end with Gavin Reed, throwing into Cowan. Ball towards Scully is intercepted and cleared downfield. Gash will chase it and he can recycle. Finds Smith, wide to Reed, but it's a poor ball again. We're half asleep this afternoon. Summers gets down the wing. He beats Gash, who's covering out there. The cross is in towards Larkin. Mackenzie heads away. Jude flicks on to Missalidis. Can we now counter with Maraval Austin? Back to Gash. Oh, it's another poor pass. Wake up, man, wake up. Has someone set the alarm, seriously? As Jones, the goal scorer. Inside left towards Larkin. He's up with Mackenzie. Smith wins the second one. Summers still has it in a good situation. And across is into McNow, who heads just over the bar. With 10 minutes to the break, you can see the stats. TNS are starting to dominate. As Stout gets the ball to Maraval Austin from a throw-in. He's now lost it. Jude does the same. Please, just pass it a bit quicker. The lads look like they're half asleep here. As Maraval Austin on the left. Good cross into Scully. And if you ever need to get out of jail, put in a big cross to the back post for a 6'8" striker. And there's very few that are going to beat him. We do not deserve that based on the last 20 minutes. But Mark Scully, before half-time, has got us back on terms. Although, hang on a minute. 45th minute, TNS on the attack. It's been nicked. Cowan finds Jude and Maraval Austin. It would be almost criminal if we went in ahead here. But Maraval Austin has got that quality. He brings the ball away. Up to Missalidis into Scully. He's offside. He puts it away really well, but it's not going to count. The flag is up. There's no VAR. And even if there were, it wouldn't change the outcome. 1-1 at the break. A bit of a scare in that first half. We need to do better. I'm going to say I'm not happy. I'm taking a gamble. We get the right response. Now let's get the performance in the second half, because Larkin takes the kick-off. It's not ideal that we're going straight from it. Let's hope we can't do any worse than we did there. Chipped up towards Smith, who's missed another header. Mackenzie gets it to Reed and Gash. Only 5 days to the final if we make it. And a few of these lads are trying to talk their way out of the team. Scully tries to release Cowan again. He's beaten Will Andy Appan. Our former hero from another save has been a hero here by gifting us a goal. Not good defending by the experienced fullback. And Cowan nicks in. The one of the front four who doesn't score that many. He's got a crucial one in this game as Reed puts the corner in. Mackenzie's up, goes for the volley, which goes wide. Not sure why he didn't head that, but it was a cracking effort. And we are starting to look the better team now at last. It's 2-1 with an hour gone. And the TNS keeper has claimed that well. Are they going to get on the counter? We just don't look solid defensively at all. As Heavens goes for that big kick over the top. Dealt with by Stow or not. He's let it bounce again. What's going on back there today? We've missed every single header. Davis in, it's 2-2. I can't remember the last time I've seen that. I mean, we weren't great defensively against Lahm, but to miss these headers from long balls over, that hasn't happened for a long time. And with better composed defenders, it's not a frequent occurrence. We're going to make some subs back there because I'm not happy with what's going on. We're going to go for Stow off for Carr, Goss on for Luke Smith, who's had a shocker. We're going to put him there, and then Murphy at right back for Reed. We only get 3 subs in this competition, so I'm really proving a point with these changes. I want to show the defence it's not good enough, and the rest of it, well, we'll just have to live with what we've got. Here's Carr at left back, 8 minutes to go. Can we finally get on the front foot with a big ball over to Scully? Not sure if he's onside, but he beats the keeper, and he puts the ball away. Kyle Carter sub gets the ball over the top, and Mark Scully, as he has 67 other times this season, gets in the score what should be the winner. We'll wait and find out if it is. I am petrified of conceding here. Gash goes for the big John Smith's advert. Over the top the Scully. First one's blocked, so is the second. And it's cut back. Oh, we just cannot put this game to bed. They're a good side, TNS. You can see why they're in the Champions League. But defensively, we were a mess. And we are very lucky to get through that. In the end, we did have the better of the game, particularly that second half. Now let's go and see when the St Mirren final is. If it's Saturday as expected, we'll get through Linfield off camera. We'll be back in a moment for the final. Hopefully, we will be able to put in a better performance because that was pretty dismal if I'm being honest. We had to wait a while to play it as Linfield win their game in hand and we play St Mirren this Saturday. Let's get the reserves out on Wednesday night. We'll be back in a moment for the final. Here it is then, the SPFL Trust Trophy final at the end of a very disappointing week, if I'm being completely honest. We were poor against TNS, as you saw. We were even worse against Linfield in the week. We had over 6,000 fans in and a home game, but we lost by 2-0. We were the better side for the first half, but their penalty came from a dive, and then they scored a second late one when we were chasing it. Not the best performance from our boys. However, there was more disappointment before that game, and actually something that's more worrying looking to the future of the club, because if you have a look at the youth players that we're trying to bring through, we may be seeing why our intake isn't as good. Linfield have still poached one of our best ones there, and in this one, Leicester nicking one in Brian Donnelly. So we're going to try and keep an eye on these, but for now, we've got to worry about winning a trophy. We're playing St Mirren in a final of the SPFL Trust Trophy, and to be fair, 2 years after our first success in the competition, we might have a good chance at winning this one as well, because we rested all of our players while Linfield hit us with their first team on Wednesday. And St Mirren, well, they've been a bit unfortunate. They've got 2 of their best players out injured and suspended, another on international duty. So it's not going to be an easy game, but with the players they've got out, quite frankly, I'd be disappointed if we didn't win this. Let's get the opposition instructions on. Let's make all the changes from Wednesday night's team. We're going to go back to our first 11. 17,000 fans in. I don't know where it's being held, but that is a massive attendance. Well, first of all, a couple of players not making this game due to fitness from midweek, which is Goss and Murphy, 2 of the defenders. But aside from that, it is basically the side that played on Monday, isn't it? The rest of it going forward is exactly the same. Merivale lost in looking fitter. Let's just see how we get on. Hopefully Scully will fire us to glory. If not, it could be a very tricky week for us. Well, have we saved our best form for the big moment? The positive is there's a few more experienced players in the St Mirren team, to put it politely. Jim Goodwin in charge. But a crucial thing is due to those young stars being out, Vi didn't make it a right back. They've brought in the likes of Banks and Robertson, who are well into their 30s. That lack of squad depth may help us. We've got a younger team, we've got a fitter team, and we rested everyone on Wednesday. And while it harmed us in that performance, it might benefit us tonight. I'm not sure where this ground is. It's got to be in Scotland. And I'm not sure whose stadium it is. I don't know how to find out. We'll have a look at the end of it. But for now, loads of Distillery fans there for the final. We're definitely seeing increased attendances this year. And if the club reputation continues to improve, could be a big thing for the future of this save, as Austin loses the ball. Cleared only as far as Kyle Carr. Our only Northern Ireland international in the team gets to the byline. Big ball to the back post for Cowan. Saved by Morrison onto the post. It's good goalkeeping. He is really well rated in this game and is someone that's been scouted as a replacement for Kane before. We need that homegrown player, which he isn't, as Gavin Reid puts the corner into the back post as always. Headed away as far as Damien Jude. He's got options inside but goes back to Cowan. Every man back for St Mirren and a very good start for Distillery. I would expect us now to be dominant in this one, but will we be able to get the goals? That's the big question. Mark Scully needs to be in form. Merivale Austin needs to be back at his best. But at the moment, it's a St Mirren throw. They're looking fairly comfortable so far as Stallard gets it in from the left, gives it away to Smith. Merivale Austin up to Scully, who holds up for Gash. He's one of many wanted by Championship and Premier League clubs at the minute. It's going to make the summer quite difficult because these guys are improving a lot, as we'll see in the end of season review. As Kyle Cart cuts inside from the left, back to Luke Smith. Wide to Gavin Reid on the right, into Cowan. As support again, we're moving it quickly. We're making St Mirren work here. As Jude finds Smith to Mackenzie. Options on the left, but keeps the ball well. Could be a very special goal if this ends up in the back of the net. Jude with a switch to Cowan. Both of the big hitters in the middle. Scully is one of them. And it's a glancing header from the big man into the far corner. It's a sensational goal. The passing, the build-up, the patience, the through ball diagonally and across from Cowan. Everything on a plate. We deservedly lead 1-0. A cracking start to the SPFL final. We're going to win my favourite competition for the second time. And I'm going to be jumping for joy today, I can tell it. 10 minutes to the break, we're back in possession again. It's Duncan McKenzie who finds Jordan Gash to Jude. He's been unlocking that door a few times this year. It's time he plays simple though, as Gavin Reid cuts in from the right towards Merivale Austin. He's pretty big himself, but the header's clear to Cowan. Back to Merivale Austin, who thunders the woodwork. He just needs one of those moments now, where he has a game where he scores 2 or 3 and plays sensational. And I think we'll get the best out of him. But with this game, probably being the last game of the season we need to win, bar the Irish Cup final. I'm not too worried if it happens this year, as Katongo gives the ball into midfield to Finley Robertson. Out to Okoro. We're doing our job of making the experienced side chase, but now we've got a firm bit of possession. They go all the way back to the keeper, and it allows us to push up. As Robertson gets it in the centre circle. Great challenge, Merivale Austin. Gash releases Cowan. Can it be a carbon copy? Scully's in the middle. Scully's there. It's a good save from Morrison. He gave him a chance, Scully. The ball was slightly behind him anyway. He puts it towards the corner with not quite enough pace. And now, oh my word, out of nowhere. Crossing from St Mirren. Simple 1-2 from a throw-in. And Stallard heads it in. Neil Kane with his classic feeble wrists. And they're back on level terms. It's 1-1 as Jude gets it on the left for us into Jordan Gash. And we're straight back ahead. Brilliant response from Distillery. Very worrying signs at the back. We've got to find a way to get a better keeper without ruining the homegrown quota. But at the moment, we've got the lead again. We've been brilliant going forward. There's just a few concerns defensively. At half-time, I'm happy with the performance. But we need to get the result. Get the trophy in, add it to the Antrim Shield and what should be a league title. And hopefully the Irish Cup could make it a quadruple. But again, it's that League Cup that's missing. As Jude gets the ball to Gash, support on the right from Cowan. He's forced backwards though to Smith. He will release Cowan. Acres of space to run into. 3 in the middle. Now 4. Up to Misselidis. That's why you have the big man at the back stick. With such a physical presence up front. 6'8", 6'2", and 6'4" or 5 Misselidis is. They're 3 huge men in the box for every set piece, for every cross into the box. And now Cowan's picked up an injury. And the problem is, we've not got Paul Elliott on the bench for this one. He's cup-tied. Zakoro goes back to his keeper. We will take Cowan and Merivale Austin off in a minute. Might have to do Carr on the yellow as well. So our 3 subs could all be forced. As Misselidis nicks it off Robertson. They're tiring now. Looks for Scully. Could he make it 4? Straight at the goalkeeper. Not quite. And we will look at the subs though. We can't get an end to this highlight. Morrison with the big ball over. Smith does well with it. Cowan flicks on to Scully, who loses possession. And Reid brings it away for Scott Banks. He goes back to Reid again. Has support inside from Horvath and Campbell. And Reid. Cutting in from the left to Horvath and Banks. Carries it down the line. No option, so he's forced backwards. We're defending well, but that's not the best ball. Banks gets it into the box. Muir is there. Neil Kane's let it through his legs again. We are gifting opportunities to St Mirren here. They've offered nothing in this game, and we've given them 2 goals. I'm going to bring on Dunn, I'm going to bring on Beaton, and I'm going to bring on Miles Stow. There'll be our 3 changes. We're going to try and get to the end of this, but defensively, we have been so disappointing. We are at the other end now, though, with St Mirren on the ball. A big punt downfield, which Gavin Reid will deal with, and Gash holds the ball up towards Scully. Flicked on, Dunn will chase it, but Morrison's there first. We've always got that attacking physical presence, but at the back, it's a concern. There's no doubt about that. As Stow gives the ball away, big ball over the top. It should go straight to Neil Kane. Do not do anything silly here. Plays out to Stow. We could do with a 4th goal, restore that 2-goal lead. Gash comes over halfway with it. Space to run into. Beaton on the right. The substitute's got his first chance to run at the fullback and does. Gets to the byline. Dunn's in the middle. Deflects and off the line from Okoro. Out to Misselidis on the left. And it's hacked away downfield. Stow will win it though. Up to Scully, who can't win the header. And Gash gets it down for Dunn, but it peters out. It stays 3-2. And now it's St Mirren on the front foot with McGlynn. Ball into the box. Do not let them equalise. It would be a travesty to football for this game. But what is going on at the back? The cross is deflected. Kane gets up. We're holding on. And I did not expect to be saying that with the way we've played. Mackenzie's had a stinker. Reid has had a stinker. But Stow, the sub, is piling forward. Chips over to Okoro who intercepts. Dunn finds Scully. Misselidis in. Must score. On his right foot. Oh, he's passed it wide. Really poor. And another chance goes begging. St Mirren have scored 2 from 3 shots on target and half an expected goal. We've had 20 shots, 8 of them on target, and we have not put this game away. It's bordering on criminal. 10 to go. It's all Lisburn Distillery. But we're nervy, and we didn't expect to have that towards the end. It's a long ball forward which Scully knocks down. He's so good at that. To Gash and wide to Misselidis. Support inside, but goes back to Gash again. He looks for Beaton's run. Beaton, the sub, is in. And it's tipped wide. It's a corner kick. And it's still not put away. 5 minutes remaining. Gavin Reid will take the corner. He's knackered. He's had a shocking game. What can he do with this set piece? He's going to look for the back post as always. Mackenzie's up. Smith is up. Scully gets the second ball into the box. It's wide from Jordan Gash. He's missed a sitter. And 24 shots with 11 on target. Not garnering the goals we expected. It was Misselidis. Finds Dunn. On the left-hand side. Holds the ball up really well. Then gives it away right on cue. Oh, don't let them equalise in at stoppage time. They've got 3 minutes more of it to go. It's great football. McShane is in. He's 1-on-1. He shoots over the bar. And I hate to do it. I'm going to have to bring out the time wasting. Fullbacks onto defensive duties. Jordan Gash as another, deep line playmaker, just supporting. I might have to drop Misselidis and Beaton back, but I don't really want to do that. We're going to drop to balanced. We're going to time waste all the time. I'm sorry to have to do it, but we need to win this game. And we need to make sure we don't bottle a cup final like we did in the League Cup. It's 3-2. We've played 92 minutes. Can we hold on for the final 3? I think the change has done it, but we've picked up a knock to Jordan Gash. It could be a bigger problem for the rest of the year. For now, we're not going to worry about that. He's fit enough to come and pick up the trophy on the podium. Neil Kane does not deserve to be lifting this today because he has been almost a thorn in our side as much as any St Mirren player. But a massive crowd in, loads of fans from Distillery, loads of flags in that stand as well. And the SPFL Trust Trophy, for the second time in our history and the second time in 3 years, is going to Northern Ireland. A brilliant win for Distillery. We beat St Mirren, we beat TNS, we've beaten teams from every nation. An excellent effort, a very good win, and a second trophy this season is won. Well, Gash is out for a few weeks, so we're not going to see much of him before the end of this season, but he should be back for the Irish Cup final if we get there. I think our season is going to finish in the same way as it did last time out. Away to Linfield on the final day as we celebrate a title in their faces. And then finally, the Irish Cup final. We won the Shield, we won the All-Ireland Cup, we've won the SPFL Trust Trophy. We're going to win the league now with a 10-point gap. And if we get the Irish Cup, 5 trophies, definitely the best season of the save. We'll come back to see that in the next couple of days. I will very quickly show you Linfield as well. They played Malmo in the last 16 of the Europa Conference League. They beat them 2-0 on aggregate despite drawing the home leg. Linfield are in a European quarter-final next week. They could do something even better than us. And who would have thought in a season where we could yet win 5 trophies, we might be overshadowed by one of our counterparts. But if you did enjoy this episode, another trophy on the board, my favourite one, I know some of you don't like it, then please do put a thumbs up on the video. Let me know if you think Linfield will go any further and beat our record of a European quarter-final. If you want to find out and see the rest of the season and whether we can win those 5 trophies, then subscribe and turn that notification bell on. We'll be back in a couple of days' time after another episode from the head coach. We're at a new club in that one. You can find our first game with them yesterday up in the eye above. But thank you very much for watching. Your support as always is appreciated. I'll see you next time for another big episode as we look to finish the season in style.